in communities across the U.S., people are realizing that getting out of your car, recreating on your feet and bikes and skis is more important as far as health.
I've noticed that if you're not in a car, you experience things on a whole nother level. It would be really nice to be able to provide those alternative forms of transportation, ways for folks to travel, get out of their cars, and just take their time to really experience, the beauty of this area.
We're very actively engaged in the community with encouraging people to utilize the various trail networks that we have. A lot of people consider them to be more of an amenity, but from my perspective, I think they're essential. And as important, if you will, as a sidewalk or a street.
Park County is a pretty amazing place, and I think a trail like this would really lend itself to getting people to think about some of the historic resources here.
The corridor has a long history of indigenous tribes living here, as well as the railroad that came through, and then the infamous Yankee Jim, who used to take a toll at Yankee Jim Canyon. We were built on the railroad and agriculture, but we are a tourism community now.
What we are going to see is a large amount of tourists, bicyclists, people come into our community, use our hotels, our restaurants, our bars, and use the trail system.
The rail trail will help not only our bigger communities of Livingston and Gardner, which this trail will connect, but also the smaller communities in between.
We have some trail established. Behind me here, we have a new section of trail that was brought in 2013, and from there we have a gap all the way to Point of Rock.
We just completed one big feasibility study for one section of the trail. We'd like to complete another 28-mile section. Funding and support from agencies is essential to move these projects forward. So A&B West supports many community efforts, and we are very grateful to them. Being a part of what the Rails to Trails group has created over the years from West Coast to East Coast will be a feather in our cap, and I think because we have the majority of people heading here to visit Yellowstone National Park, I think you're going to see a lot of use on this type of trail system once it's installed.
And it'll be a great trail from Gardner to Livingston. Wow, that's unreal.
The Great American Rail Trail just being such a positive factor, not just for the Livingston community, but for the state of Montana and actually for the United States in general. It's going to be such an incredible resource.